So academics just completely exposed Charlemagne the God's connection to Rock Nation. But what's really crazy is that now there's a bunch of clips resurfacing that suggest that back in the day, Charlemagne the God basically suggested, or he believed, that Jay-Z actually got him fired from one of his radio jobs. Now, imagine running around here caping for a guy that got you fired back in the day. I mean, it's like he really just getting down on his knees and just gobbling up both of the rocks, all right, in front of the whole world. So let me just break it all down to you, okay? So this is basically academics. He doing the full expose, all right? He let everybody know that it was a fact that basically Jay-Z's bid for the casino was officially backed by Charlemagne. He was on the paperwork on the website where they had to disclose all the people involved in the casino bid, all right? And so not only did he lie about it and seemingly break FTC guidelines, all right, breaking it, just his job breaking the law, but it's not the first time he broke the law, right? We know how he gets down. When it comes to these young girls, underage girls coming and partying at his cribs, and he's supplying the alcohol and pleading guilty to that as well, and allegedly doing even worse stuff behind closed doors. But basically, he lied to the whole world, and he was officially involved in this bid to try and put a casino in Times Square. So academics exposed this, and a whole bunch of other clips and information has come out to basically just show just how subservient Charlemagne the God is to the real God, his daddy, Jay-Z.
Do you think he forgot to mention to his friend me, hey, by the way, I'm on a legal document of declaration that I am under the umbrella of Rock Nation for the casino proposal that was just turned down a few months ago. Do you think my friend forgot to tell me that? Do you think he forgot? I drink a lot. Maybe he drinks too. Do you think he forgot? What do y'all think?
So here's the thing, right? Ack basically said that he spoke to Charlemagne, and Charlemagne had warned him about all these lawsuits that were brewing, and Grand was involved, and there's a whole lawsuit with State going on. And he failed to mention that he was locked in with Rock Nation when academics reportedly said to Charlemagne, like, yo, I think Rock Nation are plotting behind the scenes to, like, take me down and smear me and smear my name and destroy my reputation. He said that to Charlemagne. Apparently Charlemagne said something to him like, oh, you paranoid? Like, hey, what's going on? No conspiracy against you. You on the fucking information, your name's on the list of the Rock Nation shells that were trying to get a casino put in Times Square. So academics feels truly betrayed.
Do you think he forgot? For the people who say, Ack, well, why didn't you know this? Listen, I'm going to keep it a bean with you. This type of move I expect from Ty Lil, the backdoor special. You get what I'm saying? This is crazy. My media go try to slide me out, man. This is crazy. He's been working with my biggest ops the whole time. And he told me he don't got no affiliation. The only thing they said was a little weird. It was like, nah, I could call up there. I could call all of them. I'm like, okay, you got a little address book. I see what's going on. No, this is crazy. Somebody said you probably recorded the conversation. You think Charlotte wore a wire?
So, like, this is the full breakdown. It gives a little bit more information from Academics TV. It says, Academics was heartbroken after finding out Leonard McKelvey, was officially listed as a promoter and sponsor under Rock Nation. Jay-Z, he's got the address, in the Caesars Palace Times Square gaming application filed within New York State. A promoter/sponsor in gaming license bids is someone who aids or assists the applicant's efforts to obtain a license, meaning McKelvey allegedly had a direct financial stake in whether the project succeeded. On August the 13th, 2025, he testified at the Community Advisory Committee hearing of advocating for approval. He then used the Breakfast Club broadcast on iHeartMedia's federally licensed radio station, WWPR-FM, to 8 million daily listeners across 100-plus markets to promote the Caesars Times Square Casino to his audience. He framed his support around community mental health services and used Rock Nation's credibility to position himself as a guy who cared. He never got on his radio show. This is so bad. He never got on his radio show and publicly disclosed he was listed as a promoter/sponsor under Rock Nation, and never disclosed he had an alleged financial profit motive. Is this the picture of Charlemagne when he got beaten up outside the radio office? I think it is. That is funny. Okay, so this is so interesting because now a new clip is recirculating where Charlemagne said that he never made a dime from Rock Nation. Now, I'm going to be careful because I know Charlemagne's been using the copyright system to bully creators and stop people from reacting to his damning and FTC violating broadcasts. So I'm going to play this in reverse and I'm going to speed it up so hopefully Charlemagne can't bully the scene.
What benefit do you get out of that?
None.
Do you make money off of Rock Nation or anything like that?
Doing what?
But you tell me.
I don't make money. Nobody can pay me
He didn't say no. He said doing what? Nobody can pay. He didn't say no, did he?
to do anything. Nobody.
That's not true.
Who?
I could pay you, not me, but somebody pays you to do the radio in the mornings.
That's my job. That's my career. You can't pay me for my opinion. You can't.
I see.
You can't pay me to like something I don't like. You can't pay me to endorse something I'm not feeling.
I hear what you're
like that's not like not no Democrats. Nobody. If I'm doing something with somebody, it's because we work together. I believe in what that individual is doing. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing less.
Yeah.
But why y'all don't want to ask questions about George Wynn, man? Brand with a chat nigga, aka Academics TV. Why does he not want his picture out there, bro?
I don't know, but like,
Why does he not want to be like? Why did he say Charlo's talking some crypto shit? I don't want my house invaded. Y'all don't think that's strange?
benefit.
He changed the subject real quick, right? They changed that subject so quick. I think I got whiplash. I might need to have I might need to put in a claim. I feel like I've been brutalized. I feel sore, man. I feel like I just woke up at a party at Charlemagne's house, man. I feel like I just woke up in a bed with two dudes I ain't never seen before at Charlemagne's crib, man. That's how I feel right now. Just getting that whiplash, man. I feel like someone slipped something in my drink. I forgot what happened. I forgot what Charlemagne said. What's going on? Who's this? What? Who bought the alcohol? Anyway, in 2009, okay, Charlemagne the God was fired from his radio job at the Beat 10, okay? And he told Vlad TV that he believes that Jay-Z was responsible.
Is your last performance. So technically my last great performance was that Friday. That was the Beanie Siegel interview. You know, Beanie Siegel put out a diss record towards Jay-Z. I don't want to call it a diss record. We call it a real record because I don't feel like he was disgruntled or bitter. He was just expressing himself, you know? And, you know, when I heard the diss record, my mind was already thinking forward motion. I'm like, you know, I don't want to just go on my show and play the diss record in the morning. I want to holler at Beans. It only makes sense. I'm in Philly. So I reached out to his people. And Beans was like, well, Charlemagne, no doubt. And Beans called me and he got a lot of things off his chest. You know, just good journalism, if you ask me. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is it being at a radio station? You know, we could even look at like the whole situation with Wendy Williams, how she was let go. You know, at one point years back. You know, the whole Diddy incident. How hard is it doing the type of journalism that you do, being under a straight-laced kind of corporation? Like,
it's not hard, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I say it's not hard is just that you have to be willing to face the consequences and repercussions of your actions. That's it. Like when you put a Beanie Siegel on, you have to know that, okay, something might become of this. Or if you, like in my case, if I tell a Cassie that she can't really sing, and you know, why is she out there butt naked on the internet, and then still trying to say that she's some type of role model, like, I gotta know that people's feelings are gonna be hurt by that stuff, like people at the labels and things of that nature, and I gotta know that it might be some backlash, like, but I know that every time I step up on the microphone and I sit down with somebody and I'm interviewing them, I know that, and those are just the risks that I'm willing to take, because at the end of the day, the rewards are mine and the punishment will be mine, so I just gotta eat that.
do you honestly feel that you being let go from the radio station has something to do with the Beanie Siegel Jay-Z interview?
I mean, I'm not one to speculate. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, this kind of world we live in. I'm not going to go on record and say, yeah, that's what happened. But, you know, you never know.
So imagine that, man. You allegedly got fired for interviewing one of Jay-Z's ops, who was basically a former friend who turned against him, was airing him out of the interview. Jay-Z fires you, and cut to damn near 16 years later. The 16 years is definitely Charlemagne's kind of timing. Cut to 16 years later, and now you on your knees gobbling him up, trying to get his casino installed into the busiest town. That's crazy. When he got you fired from Beat 10. Now I thought the Beat 10 was what Charlemagne gave his wife, but anyway, okay. Here's a 2018 clip where Charlemagne further elaborated on exactly how that interview with Beanie Siegel got him fired. And again, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to flip this bitch, all right? I'm going to flip this bitch, like Charlemagne might do to an unconscious girl, just so he can't abuse the copyright system.
When Beanie Siegel had a beef with Jay-Z, that was like when Twitter first started. And I remember seeing all these tweets about Beanie Siegel dissing Jay. The first tweet I saw was from Fabulous, and Fabulous was like, y'all never thought I'd see the day when Beanie Siegel dissed Jay-Z. And I was like, what? And then K. Slade had played the record, so I heard it. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, y'all, I just reached out to a couple people I knew in Philly, like, y'all gotta get Beanie Siegel on the phone this morning. And he called up, and he just kind of like, Ed Jay out for like 30, 40 minutes.
So where did this whole situation stem from? Because I'm gonna be honest with you,
And the
Bean.
whole situation just stemmed from, like, I got the Young Guns calling my phone because Jay-Z's only paying them $1,200 a show when they had to split it at the end of the day. Like,
I'll never forget it because that Monday, I was supposed to move into my new townhouse in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Me and my wife had already packed up everything. The apartment was clean. I had clothes and stuff in my car. I already had put down the security deposit. And that Beanie Siegel interview played on that Thursday. Went viral that Thursday night. Played it back Friday morning. Saturday was Halloween. Monday, come into work. Boogie D, who was the program director at the time, called me in the office and was like, we're moving in another direction. But I remember tweeting out that I got fired after 6-7 months of being at 100.3 to be, and all the blogs started running with to Jay-Z get Charlemagne the God fired. And I was like, wow, because it reminded me of when they said Puffy got Wendy fired. And I remember I did an interview with Vlad TV that same week. You can go look it up right now on YouTube. And I said on that interview, like, I don't know if Jay-Z got me fired or not, but this is going to read very well in a book one day. This is when Beanie Siegel.
Basically, okay, you know, just like when you asked Charlemagne what happened to the minor that was at his party, okay, over time his story did change. And during a recent appearance on the Grits and Eggs podcast, okay, Charlemagne actually tried to debunk the claim that Jay-Z, you know, had gotten him fired. He was then calling it an internet rumor, right? So time goes on, and before you know it, he changed his whole story. And he's basically priming himself up so that he can strap his knee pads on and get to gobbling up Jay-Z so that he can get a piece of a casino. It's insane.
Listen, to be honest with you, I didn't even know how many people cared that I was on Wendy's show till I got fired. When I got fired, that shit is on the news. You know what I mean? Like a news station is coming to do interviews with me and Wendy about getting fired. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, people cared that I was. They actually were listening the whole time. Like they cared.
Yeah.
So that shit like that is priceless, man.
Yeah, because you get pressed for losing a job.
You see
That's
what I'm
real.
saying?
That's impact.
Yeah.
That was actually my last two firings was like that. When I got fired from Wendy, when I got fired from 100.3 The Beat in Philadelphia. I interviewed Beanie Siegel, and that's what they was like, yo, they said Jay-Z got you fired. It wasn't true, of course. And that was the internet rumor because Beanie was going crazy on Jay-Z.
This whole over with call.
There's always been a slight Jay-Z derangement syndrome amongst people. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's a slight Jay-Z derangement syndrome. It's like Jay-Z and Rock Nation can't be responsible for every bad thing that happens in the black community.
Hey, listen.
So the fact that he's saying this makes me think, damn, maybe Jay-Z and Rock Nation are responsible for everything bad that happens in the community, because you protesting so much, you've said a lot of stuff. We know that you lie when it comes to cheating on your wife, and you know you having crazy parties. People are claiming that they got the R word at your party when you're growing up and shit. You out here allegedly grooming underage girls, you know, going to their family house trying to get them to come to your parties and shit. So I'm not sure I believe a word that this guy's saying. But what's interesting is he's saying Jay-Z derangement syndrome. Now, this is a reference to Trump derangement syndrome, where basically everybody says that people that have a problem with Trump are just deranged. They're just having Trump derangement syndrome. They're so angry, they're so bitter about what Trump's got going on, that they just are completely acting out of character, which is ironic. So after this, all right, Charlemagne would then go on to basically cope and say the only reason Jay-Z gets backlash is because he worked hard and he built his wealth honestly and did something people never thought was possible. Interesting way of looking at it.
I think all it is really just a byproduct of power, though.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And also
Black power.
Black power. Definitely.
Because we tend to feel like when we see people in certain positions, we just don't understand how they got there. We can't believe.
And we also can't conceptualize that they got it honest.
And that's wild to me.
It's wild, right? Because it's like sometimes you do look at people and you say, I can't believe how this person got here. Like, I can't believe how Charlemagne got a show on Netflix when he has got allegations of him doing the R word to a minor, and he pled guilty to supplying the alcohol and contributing to the delinquency of a minor for a little girl that got the R word at his party. All right. I can't believe that he's in that position. So I sort of get where he's coming from.
Us, black people, God-fearing, human beings who got praying grandmothers, who believe, who from day one get told to believe in a higher power, work hard, use your God-given gifts, and who knows what can happen. Right? We believe that we can't do the impossible. Like, look at what we've overcome as a people.
Our existence here is literally doing the impossible. Yeah.
What? Look at what we've survived. Think about what our ancestors went through. We're the descendants of that. And we think that is impressive. And also, man, when you really look at it, whether it's the Jay-Z's, the Oprahs, the David Stewarts, the Robert Smiths, what they got is a small crumb of what the white folks got. Yeah. Elon Musk just made $1 trillion. And I saw more people upset about Jay-Z's exclusive Target deal, that's not an exclusive Target deal, by the way, than they were about this man making $1 trillion.
I felt
The deflection is insane, all right? Because Elon Musk didn't make $1 trillion. Just that's not what happened. That's not how it happened. He took his company public, all right? The shares are worth a lot of money. He didn't have no $1 trillion, hasn't got no $1 trillion. He owns a large chunk of a company. It's all theoretical, right? And he's done that by creating value. People talking, he's trying to deflect it towards Elon Musk when it's completely irrelevant, okay? And he's good at this. He's good at deflecting, all right? He's good at misdirecting, okay? You know, one minute you think, you know, you at the party with Charlemagne, and the next thing you know, you're looking over there, you put something in your drink, allegedly, all right? That's how it feels. That's just how it feels, in my opinion. That's how he makes me feel. I'm not saying that he did that. I'm just saying that's how he makes me feel, in my opinion, allegedly. So DJ Academics did a whole bunch of digging, okay? And that's when he found out, all right, that this was all nonsense. So Charlemagne's over here talking about Jay-Z derangement syndrome, but in the official listings, we're now finding out, okay, that he really is actually operating underneath the Rock Nation umbrella. And to do this and to go this hard for somebody that fired you and put you out of a job and put you out onto the street is absolute lunacy, and it's embarrassing.
S. Carter Enterprises. Who do you think S. Carter is? Okay, it's making sense. Look at this, what it says here. Look what it says. SCE Group. It's a SCE Group. It says, look at footnote 9. Ownership will be held by Sean Corey Carter along with certain affiliated entities and trusts. That's interesting. But my media goat is nowhere to be found. He's nowhere to be found. Maybe he's involved, but it could be a shell company. We can't go off speculation because my friend would never lie to me. Not my friend. Not my friend. I see Rock Nation. Rock Nation has identified no direct or indirect conflicts or perceived conflicts of interest to exist with respect to this proposal. What is this telling me now? Rock Nation is one of the people who has financial interest if this goes through. But what does this got to do with Charlemagne? So I go down and I say, man, maybe this little birdie that's from Rock Nation who told me just like, you know, he's just trying to gaslight me. Everybody's gaslighting Big Act now, okay? I see what's going on. They're all gaslighting Big Act. Then I click here, promoters, sponsors, and others, and I scroll down, promoters, sponsors, and others. SL Green. Okay, who are these people? Caesars. Who are these people? You'll look, some of these people are the CEO. They're the, chief financial officer. JP Morgan, Peak. So they're showing not only the companies that have significant financial interests or maybe equity or some ownership, but they show the people who are part of that organization. I scroll down a little bit more, and under Rock Nation, it reads these names: Sean Carter, Desiree Perez, Jana Fleshman, Angela Rye, Alicia Keys, and that's not my motherfucking media goat, Leonard McKelvey, a.k.a. Charlemagne, not under the Rock Nation banner. No! No! We got him, y'all. We got him. We got him, y'all. We got him, y'all. Chat, I refreshed this page 40 times. I couldn't believe it. No. I refreshed this shit 40 times, chat.
This is so insane, because when you just contrast it with the shit that he was saying when he was with Andrew Schultz about how nobody could ever corrupt him. He's uncorruptible. Rock Nation couldn't get him to do anything. When you see that his name is on the list and you revisit
this. What benefit do you
this,
get out of that?
None. That's my whole point.
Do you make money off of Rock Nation or anything like that?
Doing what?
Well, you tell me.
I don't make money. Nobody can pay me to do anything. Nobody.
Cap.
That's not true.
You're a liar.
I could pay you. Not me, but somebody pays you to do the radio in the mornings.
That's
Look at the way he's touching his nose. That's a tell.
I could pay you. Not me, but somebody pays you to do the radio in the mornings.
That's a tell him. That's like a tell in poker. It's like, yo, Charlemagne, did you put something? Did you tamper with my drink?
I could pay you. Not me, but somebody pays you to do the radio.
Did you tamper with my drink?
That's my job. That's my career. You can't pay me.
It's a tell. He's lying.
For my opinion. You can't.
I see.
You can't pay me to like something I don't like. You can't pay me to endorse something I'm not feeling.
I hear what you're saying.
That's not not no Democrats. Nobody. If I'm doing something with somebody, it's because we work together. I believe in what that individual is doing. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing less.
Yeah.
But why y'all don't want to ask questions about?
Why don't you want to change the subject to something else, okay? So now, right, shout out to What's the Dirt. He was one of the most diligent researchers when it comes to Drake. You know, the Iceman, everything going on with that, all right? He did an amazing video about it recently, and he got screwed over by UMG. So go and support What's the Dirt. But basically, I thought I was already following on Twitter. I don't really use X like that. But he resurfaced an old Breakfast Club moment where Charlemagne took a shot at Emil, the former Rockefeller artist who fell out with the label. So shout out to What's the Dirt, man, because he be digging up the most deep, darkest, diabolical clips that you didn't even know existed, man. We cut from the same cloth. Listen to this.
So you're telling me Charlemagne the God gets exposed for being this Rock Nation shill by academics, something that we all expected. Yet he was the guy who was pointing fingers at Drake, saying Drake was paying people. And what's crazy interesting about this is me knowing this now, it makes me look back at things that I remembered that Charlemagne did or said in relation to Jay-Z, and now it's adding up. Do you guys remember Emil of Rockefeller, Rockefeller's first lady? She was very close with Jay-Z back in the day. She was featured on Can I Get It with Hove, which is what most people remember her for, but she also did records with Beyonce, including this one right here. But for whatever reason, Emil just magically disappeared one day, and no one's really known what happened. Memphis Bleak got asked one time, what happened to her, and this was his response.
What happened to Emil, dog? What happened to Emil?
I don't know, man. Emil, she just disappeared, man. Like, one day Hove just say, oh, you'll never see her again, and I never did.
And that was...
So he says one day Hove said, you're never going to see her again, and we never did. That was kind of what Memphis Bleak was told about Emil. And that's when I thought about Charlemagne the God. I remembered that when she tried to make her comeback, he was extremely cruel to her. And I always found that kind of strange because it seemed like a waste of a donkey of the day. And it seemed like blatant hate for no reason. Let me play it for you.
Well, Emil eventually ended up getting dropped from Rockefeller Records, and rumor had it she was working in a Walmart in North Carolina. Well, this morning, I received a severe case of heartburn. Had to send our intern Nikki out to get some Tums because I looked on Vibe.com and saw that Emil is trying to make a comeback. As soon as I looked and saw that Emil was trying to make a comeback, I got heartburn and my left shoulder started hurting. The name of the record is I Remember, and like most struggle artists trying to make a comeback, it's over the instrumental of somebody else's record because they can't afford beats. If you think about comebacks, right? People have to care that you coming back in order for it to be a comeback. It's like being lost. You're not lost if nobody is looking for you. All those years you worked at Walmart in North Carolina, Emil, it wasn't one blog post, one tweet, one Facebook status asking for an Emil comeback. In fact, it's a lot of people who didn't know you were here in the first place. Emil, go back to Walmart, boo. Emil be herpes? We good over here. Give Emil the biggest hee-haw.
So, due to these developments with Charlemagne being a certified shill for Rock Nation, I thought back to this because I always found it strange. He goes extra hard on her. He wants to make it clear that the people do not want to hear her music for whatever reason. Now, who's someone that might want to stop Emil from coming back? Literally, the minute she steps out to try and make a comeback, this is what she gets. Why did he go so crazy on her? It's almost like he was planting a narrative with the people that, look, we're not accepting this music. Let's shit on it before it even comes out. Whatever she's trying to sell, don't buy it. It is dirty as it gets, really. And we've been hearing about shit like this when it comes to Jay-Z for years. He's found a way to maneuver around it. I think in 2026, it's starting to come down on top of him a bit. If you let mainstream media tell it and outlets like The Breakfast Club, you might think that he's very loved. But if you look online, you'll see that it's a lot more split and there's a lot of hate for Jay-Z. So you're...
Man, the jig is definitely up, bro. So look, I'm just disgusted by Charlemagne. I didn't realize until all of this media storm against him just how disgusting and depraved he was. I didn't know he had an R-word case. I didn't know that he had loads and loads and loads of moments on his radio show where he jokes about slipping things in women's drinks. I didn't know that he, made reference to like beating his wife, cheating on his wife, lying to everybody, being an exceptional liar. I didn't know all these things until all of this came out. Right? There's no conspiracy. I just think that the guy's a piece of shit and I didn't know all of these years. And it's crazy to see it all play out. So look, this just is what it is. All right. I just feel like everybody's basically airing Charlemagne out right now and they're finding out the truth about him. And like, it turns out this guy's disgusting. Like this guy's actually tapped. It just is what it is. All right. People want to say, I'm taking up for academics. I just didn't know what a dirtbag this guy was. Okay. It's just a fact. All right. And Jay-Z, he got a whole other like weird little thing going on. They're talking about allegations. He was on tour doing albums with R. Kelly after the allegations against R. Kelly. Like, what on earth was he doing? And I just do think that Drake has actually stood up and exposed this for what it is. And unfortunately, these guys like Jay-Z and Charlemagne, they opened a can of worms when they decided they thought that they could control the world. People talk about Jay-Z being Illuminati, all of that stuff. It's not a real thing. But what it is powerful men that use their money and their power to bully everybody else. But at the end of the day, all right, the sunlight will always expose the germs. And I feel like we are now seeing, courtesy of Drake, with a little bit of support from academics, just how twisted and dark and depraved the very top levels of this media space is. And got nothing to do with race, got nothing to do with background, where people are from. It's just to do with actions. And it seems that Jay-Z and Charlemagne have behaved disgustingly throughout their careers, and they've swept it under the rug for too long. So we're going to talk about it. All right, nobody's going to intimidate me into not saying what I want to say. Doesn't matter if you're, I ain't going to say no names, but nobody is going to discourage me from speaking the truth. If I decide that, you know what I'm saying, academics did something that I'm not comfortable with, that I don't think's honorable, I'm going to say that. But at the end of the day, right now, it's feeling like he in the right, he exposing that Charlemagne used his radio show to shill for a casino in the community to the destruction of his own community on behalf of Jay-Z. And he broke FTC guidelines. And he a liar. It's crazy. So he needs to get Jay-Z's rocks out of his mouth. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. So it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So I know that there's going to be more. I think the jig is up, and we're going to wait and see how it goes. But that's it for me today. All right. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.